So to add the drop zone, so let's move to our component. So here after the closing div of select box, so let's add another div and give it the class drop zone. So we'll add style later. And also, so inside we need label, and label will take the class drop zone label, and inside let's add. So here let's add inputs or for image input, and inside label let's add text that we have here. So drag and drop images or click to select. So next we need an input field and input here, so the type is file, and name, let's give it the name that we have here, and ID, we can add ID, and for the placeholder we don't need it. So this field will accept only images, and we need to make it hidden, so we'll show only the drop zone, so the input field will be hidden. So let's take a look and see. So we have here the drop zone. Click here or drop your image here, or click to select. Okay, so if we click, so we can select an image. So let's see what we have else. So we have the preview, which is this part. So when we choose an image, so we have here a preview. So we will add it later. And also we have the results. Also we will add it later. So let's add the objects that will contain that will contain the properties that we need, so we can link each input to its property. Okay, so let's move down. So inside script, so let's define. So we'll define default value for the objects. The objects will be the chosen image with the format and compression level, and also the width. Okay, so let's define first an initial like this initial image state. So inside we will have an object, and the objects, inside objects we will have many properties. The first one is the file selected, and I will tell you later why we need this. So let's give it null, and also we need image URL. So using the image URL, so we can preview the image that the user has chosen. Next we need the format, which is the format, and by default so we'll use WebP. And we need quality, and let's give it also default value, which is 50, and we need width, and the width will give it null as the default value. So now we have the image or the initial image state. So next we need to define the data object. So const data, let's make it reactive, and inside we will add the chosen image. So this is the image that the user will choose, and we will give it the initial states, this one. So we can use the spread operator to give it all the fields or all the properties that we have defined here. Okay, so next we need another property, which is the file info, and I will tell you later why we need this file info. So for now let's give it null. So next, what we need to handle the drop, which means that's when the user choose an image and drop it here. Okay, so let's define the function that will do that. So const handle drop, and this function will receive the event as param, and inside what we will do. So for now, let's just console and log the event. So to get the image that the user has chosen or has dropped, so we can use the event data transfer dot files, and we choose the first file, okay, which is in the index 0. So this is the handle drop. So now we need to use it, and to use it, we can use it inside our div, which has the class drop zone. Okay. So to use it, all you need to do is to add the event, and event here is at drop, and we need to prevent the default behavior of the browser. So we use at drop.event, and we call the handle drop. Okay. So next, let's move to input fields, which are the compression level, format, and width. So we need to link them to the objects that we have here. So let's first start with compression level. So here we have, let's add the model, and we can link it to the data.chosen image dot quality. And same thing we can do here. So here, instead of showing 10, so we can add span, and we give it an ID, which is compression level, not level, but label. And inside we add quality. So let's save. Let's see what we have here. So as you can see, we have 19%. Let's refresh the page. So we have something wrong. Let's see the console. So reactive is not defined. So I did not import the reactive. So let's import it. So here we need to import it. So import reactive from Vue. So save. Let's see what we have here. So now we have, as you can see, the data chosen quality. So I did not add curly braces. So sorry for this. Let's add it now. So we can display the value of the quality. As you can see now, it's 50. Let's move. So as you can see now, slider is linked to the quality that the user chooses. Okay. You can add here, if you want, you can add here a parentheses, and let's add a colon. Let's see, let's refresh the page. So let's remove space from here. So I think now it's better. So if we choose, so we'll add style or CSS styles later. So next, let's move to the format and width. So what we have here, so let's add vModel to the format. So for select box, so here we have vModel, and we need the format. And what else we need? So we need to do the same thing for the width. So here let's add same thing, and we have the width. So what else we need? So for the For the drop down menu, not menu, for the drop down zone, so we have already added the handle drop. And for the input field here, not this one, but the one that has the type file, so we need also to add change, so the user can choose an image when we click. So when we click here, if we click, so you can choose an image, as you can see, or when we drag and drop. Okay, so to handle the on change, so we will add another function, which is handle file change. So let's move down, add function. So let's add it here. So let's remove, or let's add a space and change the name. So we have the events and same thing. So the only thing that we will do is to display the events dot or to console and log the file, which we can get using the events.targets.files, and we can get it from the index 0. So now we have two functions. So next, let's add some styles. We did not add styles to our files, so you can copy it from the source code. You will find source code in the description, so just move to the source code, or let's do something before we add the source code. Before we add styles, let's do something. Let's add other components that will hold the input fields, and also the input fields, but for drop zone we will keep it here inside our home components. Okay, let's add another folder here inside components. Let's call it partials, and inside it let's add another file and call it inputs components dot view, and inside we have the default structure of our component. So here we have setup, and here we have scooped. So let's add, as I told you, let's bring from here, from the home, let's bring this section that has the input fields, and keep only the drop zone. Or let's see what we have here. So we have section controls, and we have this div that has the control group. Okay, let's bring it from this until the drop zone. So let's copy, or let's cut and paste here, and we can let's first organize the code, and we can close section. So let's close section here. So save, let's move here. So now we can import the file and use it, or the component and use it inside our home page. So let's do that. So here we have the form and we have the div. So let's remove this section, so since we don't have it, and let's use, or let's import the component. So the component is inside input component. So let's make it uppercase. So let's use input and component, and close it. So we don't need this. So what is this? So let's close this tab. Let's remove this one, this part. So I don't know how it comes. So let's remove the space, and we need also, so it's already here, it's already imported from the partials, and we have here our component, but we need to do something. So we need to send the object which is chosen image to our component. So we can use the properties here, as you can see.